Americans are always trying to fit the downsides of prohibition, cold turkey, drug overdoses, incarceration, etc. into a puritanical narrative, casting the victim of drug war policy as a wayward soul in need of religion, or at least a higher power, and a therapeutic realization of their own nothingness in the great scheme of things, which is ironic, since that's a humbling worldview that the drug warriors who create all these problems would never, ever think of adopting for themselves. What I hadn't realized until now, however, is that the practice of tapering a drug in the age of the drug war is also a puritanical practice. To see this clearly, ask yourself the following question: would a drug dealer tell you to taper a drug that you did not enjoy? No, of course not. He or she would tell you to ratchet up the use of a drug that worked better for you. The only reason we promote tapering is because we have outlawed all the better substances that one might use in the case of a problem, and the fact that removing a psychoactive drug without replacing it creates issues that allow us to medicalize and moralize the experience of the taperer, thereby creating jobs for therapists and keeping the drug user cast as the prodigal son or daughter, only lately coming home to a hypocritically defined sobriety and a higher power, ideally, of course, too. The Christian God of the average drug warrior. This is why I have no interest in getting off of Effexor, despite the fact that it tranquilizes me and turns me into a ward of the healthcare state. I am a 64-year-old with a busy work schedule. I do not have time to devote my golden years to a psychologically nerve-wracking struggle with withdrawal, not in an age in which all the medicines that could guide me through the experience, empathogens, opium, coca, speed, have been outlawed. Because the last thing that the drug warrior wants is for a user, even of a legal medicine, to get off of a psychoactive medicine easily. Then there is no way to open clinics for them and make a business model out of helping them, or a career in criminology out of arresting them. Then there is no way to cast the withdrawal experience as a moral drama, with the devil sitting over my left shoulder, urging me to continue using, and the angel sitting over my right shoulder, urging me to keep the course, full speed ahead to the monotheistic and self-denying religion of my forebears. As always, materialist science abets this anti-patient approach by fretting that scientific onlookers need to keep their variables straight. When the withdrawal process involves multiple drugs, one that you're tapering off and others that you're ratcheting up, it is impossible to know which drug is doing what. And since the rights of the materialist come before those of the patient, the obvious answer to this dilemma is to deny the taperer additional medicines until such time as they have gotten off of the undesired substance. If I had that much psychological downtime to throw away in my life, I would devote it to moving to a country or state that's less determined on throwing me in jail for improving my mental attitude with godsend medicines. This is the evil of the drug war. They portray it like they're jailing scumbags, black and poor, but what they are really doing is jailing those who seek to improve their lives, advisedly or otherwise. Besides, it's racist to the hilt. When Betty Ford announced the fact that she was abusing Valium, whatever that means, Americans pitied and respected her and ultimately praised her for developing treatment protocols for rich, white, respectable women like herself who wanted to return to the hypocritical sobriety of the drug warrior. It never occurred to Betty that folks were using Valium for a reason, and that if long-term Valium use proved to be problematic, it did not therefore follow that any and all drug use was problematic. That's like saying that amoxicillin did not work, so there's no use in trying azithromycin.